followed by Hank. Hank, good.
Wow, I am exhausted. Are you just not exhausted? I appreciate the fact that you're here, but I had all these things that I want to talk about, but for the last 2 years, I have had to become a transportation, security, funding, environmental. I have to become an expert because I feel like the plan that you've given us, we've said in multiple ways we don't want. So we're having to spend our nights and our days and our weekends to try and find other ways to communicate to you. You have no brand equity in the TTC. Someone earlier tonight said, stop the pain, go back, start over. You know, a lot of people here tonight, and a lot of people you've heard, and you will continue to hear, want to talk about the land issue. And that definitely got me into this. But when we looked at your plan, and we've looked at it, and we've gone through the financing, and we've gone through the funding, and we've gone through all these other issues, it's flawed in so many ways. You will not win this. Stop wasting your very valuable time, your education, and our education. Look at how much effort these people have put into their maps and their drawings. And this is 2 years in. 2 years in. And you've got all the final reports and your reports that you're going to pass up to the feds in February of next year. Our legislature doesn't meet until next year. We've got a lot that we're going to be saying to them. And I will be darned if you will pass anything that goes up to the Fed before we've had our say in the legislative session again next spring. So I just want to implore you, smart people, we're smart people, you've lost. This one is dead. It's dead. Go call it something else. You will not win TTC. You will not win. You know yourself. You can't even now say how long, how wide, how narrow, how many. You came out with a big plan. You came out with a big vision. It was flawed. We told you that. So now, instead of commenting on the big master plan, you have to comment on very specific pieces that you are just vague at best on. So I would just implore you, stop now. Go back, start again. Take all these wonderful suggestions and start with the vision again. I work for a very, very big business. And I'm telling you, when it comes to commerce, which is what my comments tonight were about, my questions were about tonight, big business will find a way. We're smart folks. We can deal with it. What we want our state to do is address the needs of our public transportation. Big business will find a way. You don't need to pay the way of big business. So when it comes to the ports, when it comes to the traffic coming from Mexico to Canada, we'll figure it out. And we'll come to you and we'll ask for special favors. We'll work with you on that. But really, what we want your job to be is help us with the congestion. Help us with what we know on a day-to-day basis and what we fight with. But big business is not stupid. We've been working this thing for a long time. We're going to continue to work it, and we'll be fine. We will find a way to get the commerce in. I'll tell you this, we don't want to sacrifice the price of our iPods for our security. You know, that's what we're concerned about. What role do you believe, here's my question, what role do you believe that your department plays in the security of our borders? What role?
We're building, or what we're planning to build, and we're going through the planning process, and will be a safe facility. And we'll provide the safe movement of people and goods. Now, I want to go back to something that you said. When we rolled out the Trans-Texas Corridor concept map and the concept back in 2002, we talked about that this is, yes, the big vision. This is what we looked at, but we said that each one of those corridors would have to be planned and go through the formal planning process in and of itself. And so we started working on the 35 corridor, and we're going through the planning process for the 35 corridor. We're working on the I-69 corridor, and we have to go to that.
Can I stop you on that bit? You act as if the I-35 corridor is supported and wanted. It's not. Very clearly, it's not.
It's going through the environmental process. It's a process that we follow for every single project that we have to develop.
Nobody's debating process. It's flawed from the beginning. You rolled out a master plan. That plan was flawed. It still is. It hasn't changed. Just because you're ignoring certain things and going ahead with the process, you're following all the rules, all the regulations. I do that in my job. We follow those. That doesn't mean it's wanted. It doesn't mean it's desired. And it doesn't mean it's the right answer. It's not the right answer for Texas. It wasn't in 2002. It's not today. It's not going to be in 2009. It is not the right answer. When I ask you about security, my real question is, what role would you think that airports would play in our border security? What role would you think they would play pre-9/11? Would you have a different vision now in what role our airports play in our border security? I bet you do. I bet you don't complain about the long security lines when you wait at an airport now, because you know what those airports can be used for, and you saw the security gaps that we had. I don't think people would mind waiting at the borders for proper security checks, whether it be commerce or whether it be public transport. But what I'm saying is, what you've demonstrated to us, what you communicated, or worse yet, lack of clarity, shows the rest of us that there isn't a plan going along with the roads that you're building to address the security threat, the numbers of cargoes and containers and trucks and people that are coming through. We all know what's going on with the Mexican cartel. Maybe we didn't think about Al-Qaeda pre-9/11, and maybe we're not thinking about the cartel pre-whatever. But it is your role as a Department of the State of Texas to have thought of a proper security plan before you go and you build the access to this terminal.
Now, as far as the traffic coming from Mexico, that's done by U.S. Border Protection.
Not your problem. You're building the access. You have to think about the broader implications.
We're building the access, we're building the road that would connect. We're building the road that would have the capacity to allow for the safe movement. The inspection of those vehicles, the inspection of the drivers, the inspection of all of that are functions that one are part of, on the state level, Department of Public Safety, at the federal level, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And all of those requirements are in place today, and all of those requirements will continue to be performed regardless of what road is built.
Those requirements are not in place today. I suppose that you've all read U.S. Representative McCauley's report on border security, A Line We Stand. You've read it. I know you have. We do not have secure measures in place today. The DEA internal reports say so. We've got hundreds of reports that say we do not have secure measures in place today. So if you're telling me that what works today is what's going to help us tomorrow when you build these gateways, I have to differ with you on that. We're not secure. We don't have anything in place. We have very competent people who have given us the reports at the state and federal level who also disagree and are very concerned about it. So what I'm suggesting to you is, if you're saying it's not our department, it's not our problem, I'm saying to you, you better darn well get coordinated before you go build the access and just say, wow, it wasn't our department, that was them. That was their issue to get our border secure. Don't give them the access without having thought through the bigger picture.
I understand that we are working right now